Whoa, that was fun. Hi guys, so welcome to the Zen Warrior War on AI this week. And like I said in one of my earlier videos, I'm not against AI. I actually see it as an essential part of our evolution with an understanding of what is coming, or what I feel is coming, and what human design prophesizes is coming, is that we're actually going to need it for some stuff. But there are some stuff where it just doesn't cut it, and that's where human touch is important. Or in this case, electromagnetics between human beings. So let's talk a little, just briefly, 2027 prophecy is that new beings will be born that consciously connect. But at the moment, what we know is we unconsciously circuit together. And you can see that when a tribe comes together in a company or in a family, you can see that they all start working towards the same thing together because they have networked for that particular thing. And you'll be like, oh, yeah, but we choose to do that. It's like, yes, you do choose to do that to some extent. When you're employed, maybe you don't choose everything you have to do. But that decision creates an electromagnetic. Being around someone, being in aura with someone, creates an electromagnetic where you absorb, where you start learning and absorbing or sponging or whatever it is. Think about how a child learns good and bad things growing up. Think about how an animal learns, for example. You know how they say pets look like how they say owners look like their pets. It's actually generally the other way around, because a lot of pets are reflectors, not all of them. And so they literally reflect the owner back. My Thomas, he's a reflector, and he swaggers when he walks, which is really funny because as a pole dancer, I guess I have a bit of a swagger on me. And certainly my mother had a swagger, or has a swagger. So, you know, maybe I picked that up. My sister too, actually. So maybe I picked that up by being in aura and being conditioned by that. Anyway, people are using AI to read their charts. And I encourage you, by all means, if you are into human design, astrology, go do your own research. It's going to integrate better. But there is a difference between mechanically understanding your chart and the transmission of, and each reader is different. Each reader has their own circuitry that sees different things. The mechanics of someone reading for you who is a skilled reader in whatever the system is, where you're looking for transformation in your life, it's very, very different when someone does it for you. And the only people that fall into exception are quadrites. For us, it's a bit different because we can absorb source data without having a transmission. That doesn't mean a transmission isn't valuable. That just means that it's more possible for us to absorb something that's actually going to make a big difference for us individually. But the majority of the population is not quadrite. And so in order for any of those systems, numerology, etc., to be transformative, or anything that you're learning to really be absorbed, it's easier to absorb it from someone else. I actually believe this is one of the reasons that YouTube is so popular and podcasts are so popular. You're getting a verbal transmission. It's not reading it from a book, because reading it from a book is actually a little painful for everyone. There's a reason we use teachers for so long. I mean, we could have all just sent you to a room to sit down and read books that were written by teachers. There's a reason we didn't. And that's because there was a transmission and a compassion in someone sitting with you and making sure that it integrated and helping you to integrate that. And that's something we do by going into you. This is one of the reasons my teacher, who one of them is a projector, it's one of the reasons why he says projectors are readers, because our aura is designed to go into the other. It penetrates in like a conical little pokey thing, wraps its hand around your self-centered magnetic monopole and goes, let me show you what you could do with this cool machine you've got, you know? So understand that AI, as cool as it is, and I'm not saying don't use it to research. It does get stuff wrong with human design though, so be a little careful with that. But if you want to look up individual bits and pieces, tell me about the channel of awakening, tell me about the channel of, you know, revolution, etc., by all means, or not revolution, synthesis, by all means go and do those individual, like break out the individual parts. But when it comes to a cohesive reading of all the bits and pieces, whether it's that or astrology or whatever it is, you need a reader, in my opinion. And I'm not just the one saying this after experimenting with AI myself. This is what Ra, the downloader of the whole system, said originally. And this is what I feel when I work with people. The chart is just a way in. I'm also reading the person. And that's what I'm designed for. That's why, as my projector teacher would say, projectors are readers. And it is not to say that there aren't other ways of reading that are not projectiness. And also to understand that people have projected channels who are not projectors as well. And those channels work exactly the same way. You know, they are projector channels. So they have a way of needing invitation and recognition and all that sort of stuff. And then they have a way of grasping something that requires a way of looking at the other. Have a great day. I hope this was helpful. Those of you who are in Auckland and have not seen, I've got an event happening on Saturday. There are like 3 tickets left, so you should book now or miss out. Bye.